It's KSUS, right? We're on to Zero Uniform Sierra.
Terrain system
where there's
test.
good Italian
Okay.
food.
What are we doing?
Italian food.
Ooh, I'm ready for Italian.
Yep.
How's our weather looking?
We're going to be probably, as you surmised, skirting around the western edge of that.
Yeah.
But it is slowly moving east, so I think it'll be an almost straight shot.
Port here on traffic, Diamond 78 Delta Tango crossing runway 1028 on the ground. Port here on.
Couldn't see a taxiway sign.
And our run up is good since we just did one first notch.
Alright, pre-takeoff, first notch. Landing light, trim looks good. We'll go ahead and turn on our fuel pumps.
Takeoff checklist is ready.
Takeoff checklist complete. Rotating 80. ISC is 90. 89. Rounding up 1 knot. I like my
It's easier to find.
my big numbers.
St. Clair County traffic, Diamond 78 Delta Tango's departing 22 St. Clair.
Clear final.
Finals are good.
Let's check out our windsock. Went straight down the runway. It's a lot nicer than London, Canada. And center line. Full power. Gauges are in the green. Airspeed's alive. Looking for rotation. Almost there. There's VR rotating. Alright, there's VYSC looking good. Positive rate, gear coming up. No more runway available. Gear swinging. Gear confirmed up. Getting to a safe altitude. Airspeed looks good. Bringing flaps up. Noise canceling coming on. Alright, bringing load back to 92%. And let's start heading towards our flight plan. Alright, fuel pump coming off. And left fuel pump coming off.
Center Diamond 78 Delta Tango 1600 for 6,000.
78 Delta Tango, Southern approach, ident. 78 Delta Tango, radar contact 3 miles southwest of St. Clair County, salvage altimeter 2974.
Thank you, Delta Tango.
2974.
Nice takeoff.
Yeah, not bad. 2 makes it easy. Alright, so we're about 120 knots, 2,500 climbing for 6,000. We are headed to St. Louis today. We just cleared customs at Port Huron, Michigan. And this is my checkout flight for the DA62 with Premier Aircraft Sales and Diamond Aircraft. And with me today is Dirk, our wonderful sales rep for Fort Worth, Texas.
Haley's teaching me, actually. I'm just here as the baggage handler and reservation maker.
Yep. And we have a little storm in front of us. It's not too bad, just some rain. It's not super convective, but we're probably going to swing a little bit to the west to make sure we stay clear of it. And again, we are in a DA62, which means we have a bunch of cool equipment on board that I did not have in the DA20 or the DA40 Tundra. So, yeah, every time I come to pick up an airplane, it's always like, there's always storms in the way. But every time Dirk comes to the Diamond Factory, it's blue skies. And he loves to pick up these 62 with the equipment to fly in the weather.
So thank you for bringing the weather today, as per normal.
And so far we are still VFR, however we are on an IFR flight plan. But we will see if that changes. Yeah, we have a 30 knot headwind already. I don't think I've been on a flight yet where I didn't have a headwind. And on the G1000 here I'm seeing green. GPS, it's on the autopilot nav mode. Flight level change for 110 knots. It's always good to use flight level change instead of vertical speed because you don't want to stall the aircraft by accident. It's always good to set an airspeed. We'll let it build up some speed and we'll set it back for 85% load. That's a good cruise setting for the DA62.
That'll put us right at 16 gallons an hour total burn.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
8 gallons an hour per engine. We are also in a 5-hour airplane. It smells like a new car.
Contact Detroit approach 1.
Approach Diamond 78 Delta Tango 6,000.
We're showing 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's about what we figured.
We're crossing 3 states today. Oh no, 4 I guess. We're in Michigan,
just
we're
a corner
crossing
of Ohio, yeah.
Yeah, we're crossing Illinois, or Indiana, Illinois, and then into Missouri.
Ratio Delta 78 Delta Tango, contact Detroit approach now 118.95.
1895 Delta Tango. Approach 78 Delta Tango 5,000.
78 Delta Tango, Detroit approach, roger.
I could do YouTubes. While you do that, how to operate G1000s.
How do I operate a DA62?
How
How
do
do I land a DA62?
Play faster.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh man. Yep. So we're just passing through the Detroit. It's Detroit of Bravo. And we're a little under 3 hours, I believe, right? It's right up here. Yep, 2 hours and 56 minutes. It's nice to be in a 62. I think that flight took about 6 hours in the 480 Tundra or the 20. So we're true 170 knots, and we're looking at 135 knot ground speed. And we checked out all of our winds at all the different altitudes, and we're at 6,000. That seems to be the best altitude for us today. What's nice is on the G1000, Dirk actually just showed me this, you can get the little wind barbs on the G1000 at each of the different altitudes, so you can actually check that in flight instead of just going to that altitude and seeing what happens with the wind.
Save a climb or descent that way.
So that's a nice feature.
And at the other end of this 2 hours and 56 minutes is Italian food.
Yes, so very excited.
Which is why St. Louis is a mandatory stop.
Yep. I'm also Italian. I gotta get the Italian stop.
Man 8 Delta Tango, climb and maintain 6,000.
6,000, 8 Delta Tango.
And Diamond 8 Delta Tango, in about 5 miles, you're going to be right on the northern edge of light to moderate precip, extending as far as I can see I can see out about 30 miles.
What do you want to do? Do you want to divert or?
Well, let's just see how it looks. We can always do that SBN and hook a little dog leg around SBN.
All right, we're going to see how it looks, but for right now, we'd like to stay on our direct to St. Louis for 8 Delta Tango.
Yep. The reason is it's, moving kind of off to our
left.
By the time we get there, I guess.
You gave me 6,000, so let's actually do flight level change. We're looking okay. It's actually pretty warm for 6,000 feet. It was a lot colder last time.
Yeah. How does that DA20 do on cabin heat when you're on a cold day cross country?
It's actually pretty nice. I did actually use it like half of the, I think, second or third trip. But by the time you get to Texas, you're always like sweating.
You take your white parka off because you start out with the big white down parka, don't you?
Yes.
Great Lakes approach, Diamond 7, 8 Delta Tango, level 6,000.
A little puppy.
I think you probably had a better idea than I did. Let's look at...
to go around to the west.
Let's look at this, what is that right there? South bend. Let's do direct south bend. Direct, see if that works.
Okay.
What is that, SBN? Yeah, let's direct SBN.
Great Delta Tango, I'm not sure if anyone's told you about all this precip. I'm showing anywhere from moderate precip all the way to extreme precip. It's a long line spanning down to like southern Illinois, starting about your 10 o'clock and 20 miles.
Yeah, we were actually just about to call you. We were looking to divert to Sierra Bravo November first and then head down to St. Louis for 8 Delta Tango.
Yeah, that looks like a better plan. All of it's moving east pretty quick. So cleared direct south bend, direct steer to St. Louis.
Direct southbound, direct to St. Louis. Thanks for your help, 8 Delta Tango.
We had a good idea there.
Yeah, it looked a little bit hairy there. Yeah. Okay, so SPN. Woo! Yeah, just got some 0 G's there. I think it's time to divert.
I'm always one of these straight line guys. Until I'm not.
Until you're like...
That pulls us out pretty good.
Alright, so as you can see, we're starting to hit the first little bits of this.
That route will actually still take you through some of the light precip I'm showing associated with that line. Starting at about, we'll say 15 to 20 miles. I can see fly through some light precip for about 8 or 9 miles.
Roger, I think we'll be okay with that. We'll let you know if we want to divert further for 8 Delta Tango.
We just want to stay away from extreme precip. That's what he told us. But that's okay. We'll have a nice, not puppy flight.
That's just a small dog leg. I bet it doesn't add very little.
And we kind of waited until later in the day. This whole storm kind of already passed because it's coming from the west to the east. So doing well.
That'll be smooth sailing past South Bend.
Smooth sailing to some wine and Italian food.
Yep.
All right, so we're coming up on South Bend. Just off of one of the Great Lakes of Michigan. And I think we might...
Say again for Delta Tango.
8 Delta Tango, safe flight conditions.
We're just entering some IMC light shop.
And as our controller asked, we are just now entering the clouds.
You bet. Sorry, we keep interrupting Haley. Go ahead, Haley. Try it now.
How dare they give me directions? Just some light clouds though around us, and not too much light chop. It looks like the storm is still pushing west, so we're glad it's not sitting right over our airport.
So Haley,
again.
what's different about multi-engine flying than single-engine flying in your experience?
Well, redundancy. Should we lose an engine, we have two, so that's nice.
I would add just the simplicity of the DA62 and the multi-engine topic is just so much easier than you mentioned a Baron earlier on our flight about how much more complicated that was over a 62.
Yeah, I've got about 80 hours in a Beechcraft Baron. It's 6 levers. It definitely feels a lot heavier, and it's a little slower to the reaction on the controls. So I love the FADEC two lever control here, just 1 lever per engine. Got ECUs to match, and there's 2 ECU A and B for each engine. That's also very nice.
What would your fuel burn be in a Baron right now?
So B58.
It's pretty thirsty, isn't it?
I'd say even lean for peak performance. It's like 13.
Aside, yeah. So
yeah,
26.
13. So it's
26
I guess it depends
16.
on your altitude, but just probably 2 times the fuel burn and something like that. And another thing, let's see, I like about the DA62, it does have the de-icing equipment. So we do have, let's see, what are they on the outside on the leading edge?
That's the TKS system, which is a laser drilled titanium leading edge.
Yes.
It weeps out a TKS fluid, which is an alcohol-based fluid, and it'll give you several hours if you are in ice that long. The ability to fly safely in known icing conditions. Even though I like to call it not feaky, but folky. Flight out of known ice.
Yep, and we have them on our leading edges of our wings as well as our elevator. That is nice.
The propellers have a sling ring, keeping the props clean, and you've got a momentary contact button over there for the windshield to keep it clean.
So would you consider it an anti-ice system?
It really is.
Because it says de-ice here on my panel, but it feels more like an anti-ice system.
I think that's an important distinction because you really need to get the wing wet, get the system primed before you get into icing conditions with TKS as it's installed on the DA62, and then it will prevent ice from forming.
I'd say anti-ice. We might have to change this little placard here.
It's a little more anti-ice than de-ice. I agree with that.
Really just such a well-performing and efficient airplane. Just all around.
It's a little easier to taxi a twin. You've noticed that?
Yep. Honestly, landing.
Yep.
I have an easier time landing a twin than a single, especially like with crosswind. It just handles crosswind so much better.
And your last landing, you right over the numbers, you pulled the power back to 0, and that kind of made a beta sound on the props. It gave you a lot of drag there just when you needed it to really decelerate and touch down smoothly. It was a great landing, by the way. It's fantastic.
Almost has those like reverse thrusters. Yeah. That a jet would have. It's kind of what it feels like a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it slows down rather quickly. When you bring the power to idle, it does slow down, whereas I just bought a Beechcraft Debonair, as you guys know, and that airplane, you really do have to plan your descent because it's easy to get a little fast coming down. And another thing with this airplane, our gear here, let's see, our landing gear operating is 162 knots, and then landing gear extended is 205 knots. So think about that for a second. So I believe 205, right? That's our red line.
Yeah, that's going to be at the top.
Right? Like that. So you can really fly this airplane with the landing gear extended all the way. Like you don't really have a limit there with the amount of power we have in this plane.
So if you need to do emergency descent, you would put the gear down, bring your power back to say 30% or so. You don't have to worry about rapid power reductions in a liquid-cooled engine. You're not going to see any shock cooling.
Oh, yeah, that's
That'll
nice.
Give you a descent rate of 2,000, 2,500 feet per minute at an airspeed well inside the green arc. So it's a very safe way to get out of the sky in a hurry.
Yep. Unlike the Baron, definitely the Debonair, you have to watch for shock cooling.
Yeah. Mentioned 6 levers. I think you did not mention cowl flaps on the Baron. So that's really, now we're up to 8 levers.
Yep, there are cowl flaps.
Versus 2, right?
Yep.
2 here.
Our Sirius XM we have on this plane as well. We just popped out of the clouds and it says,
"What a glorious time to be free."
Well, that was a very short IMC.
To the back end of the weather. How does it look over there?
Looking great for 8 Delta Tango.
8 Delta Tango, contact southbound approach 118.55. Next.
11855 for 8 Delta Tango. How we doing?
I need my sunglasses. We'll check in here.
Great Lakes approach, Diamond 78 Delta Tango, level 7,000 or 6,000.
Diamond 78 Delta Tango, this is southbound approach, southbound altimeter 2980.
Southbound approach and 2980, 8 Delta Tango.
Almost got it. South Bend.
So we just went through some turbulence, and the wings were flexing quite a bit, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Why is that, Dirk?
Well, Haley, the reason is just because sort of the DNA of Diamond is a glider manufacturer, and they have these long wingspan, high aspect ratio wings that really absorb a lot of flex and take a lot of turbulence out. Don't transmit it down to the seats where we're sitting. So it makes for a really smooth ride, even in turbulence.
Yes, it really absorbs a lot of those bumps.
It really does. It's 95% carbon fiber, which is the lightest, strongest material you can make anything out of.
Yes, it is. And it is not plastic. I got a comment on some of my other videos with Diamond about these plastic airplanes, and no, they are not plastic.
No, they're not plastic, as a matter of fact, that Diamond uses. And I think your surfboard is probably carbon fiber that you have, right? Your skis and your surfboard?
Yeah. Yep, I have a Santa Cruz fiberglass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're carbon fiber fans.
Yep.
And it really does a nice job of soaking up bumps. It's a real stable molecule. There's no solar absorption limits, really, on carbon fiber. You can, actually, there's no life-limited components with it. It just lasts and lasts.
This plane will live longer than you, for sure.
Uh,
Smooth ride up here.
Smooth right now, or on the back side of that front.
And you can probably see it a little bit behind us. Now, how do you put this seat back, Dirk? I'm a little jealous over there.
Right here.
This button.
Go ahead and push. We don't see how far you go. You go to dentist chair mode.
We're recording? All right, we're going to take a nap, guys. Let the plane fly itself. We're going to wake up in about 2 hours to land it. And yes, I'm just screwing with you. But I think Dirk's out for the count now.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's very comfortable. If you want to take a little,
Yeah.
if you need to take a little nap, you can sure do.
122 left transition.
That is really nice. So just in case you don't like to use the buttons and the knobs over here on the G1000.
Or reach across.
Yeah, we've got a nice little pad here, which I think I want to start using.
Does everything but the autopilot.
22 gallons on each side, so we turned off our aux tanks. We left a little bit in there so that the pump stays wet.
Yep.
20 minutes to go. Hanging out level 6,000, 53 over the ground, so it's nice to be picking up some speed. Right now over St. Louis, though it is pushing to the west or the east ever so slowly. And we're setting up to possibly do a sidestep approach since the main runway is closed. Subject a little bit more, probably the next like 40-ish minutes. All right, so Dirk feels pretty strongly about his trip on it was an Airbus, right?
A319, or
Yep.
row 15 seat A against the wall.
Yep.
And it was tight. It was not designed for people my size.
How tall are you, Dirk?
6'4".
Yeah, I'm 5'8", for anyone wondering, and it's a little tight for me even. And yeah, those commercial airliners, they're packing us in like sardines now.
It was tight yesterday. I got trip conducted over soon enough.
He was beelining it for the door.
Yeah.
As soon as we got off, but yeah, you're enjoying the seat,
Oh, that's just,
the recline here.
You do 4-hour legs and it's perfect. You just recline back, your feet are way out in front of you, you move the rudder pedals away,
Yep,
cruise, and it's just
got
super
the autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I'd have to say, a lot more comfortable than the airlines now. If you are a pilot or just have a pilot to fly you in these airplanes, that's
Haley.
awesome.
There is closed. Actually, between Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 is closed. Main half mile northeast spread at 150 feet AGL. Advance contact mission.
34.8
Delta Tango, contact St. Louis approach 119.15. Great day.
119.15 for 8 Delta Tango, thanks you too.
Oh, Mike.
St. Louis approach, Diamond 78 Delta Tango, level 6,000.
Diamond 78 Delta Tango, St. Louis approach. Advise Mike, expect the visual approach 26 right.
We've got Mike, and we'll expect 26 right, 8 Delta Tango.
Number 8 Delta Tango, seat direct Cardinal, Charlie Sierra X-ray.
And we're just gonna be going straight in?
Yep.
I like it.
But just on a final, pretty much.
Perfect. We just picked up the weather. We were told to expect 26 right. We're talking to St. Louis approach. We've got all our frequencies loaded. And it's really nice on the G1000. You can just kind of scroll over on your MFD page and just like activate or load them into your comms. You don't have to like go find them and do all the toggling with the buttons. So that's really nice. Blue skies, pretty much. The storm kind of just like got off of San Luis right for us to come in. That's very convenient. I do kind of like having the IFR flight plan, even in VFR, when they kind of just lead you into the airport.
They do some of the work for you.
Yeah.
If you can see the arch when we get up here a little closer.
Yeah, here we are. We are at St. Louis airport, and then we're going to intercept for 26 right.
Actually, the least dense traffic is directly over these.
Directly over.
There's nobody there.
I guess that makes sense.
126.5, good day.
126.5, thanks you too, 8 Delta Tango.
126.5.
Approach diamond 78 Delta Tango, level 4,000.
Diamond 78 Delta Tango, St. Louis approach, roger.
I usually like having all of my ground and tower on one and then approach and weather or whatever on the other, so it's like you can change. And you just won't forget if you keep them all on one comm and then keep them all on the other. So cool seeing the Bravo airport underneath us.
November 78 Delta Tango, descend and maintain 3,000.
3,000, 8 Delta Tango.
Condor 5 November 8 Delta Tango, traffic 12 o'clock, 4 miles, 2,600 is the Gulf Stream.
Looking for traffic, 8 Delta Tango.
Yeah.
Turn left heading 200, just a short vector to box you around for the sequence.
200.
200 for 8 Delta Tango.
You can also see the runway on the north side of the airport, the short one. That's 26 right.
Oh, I see it now.
November 8 Delta
Okay,
Tango.
no wonder.
200 for a short
2
vector.
o'clock and 2.5 miles, 2,100 descending a Gulf Stream.
Yeah, I got him to say it.
00 right there.
Yeah, just keep it going.
November 78 Delta Tango, descend and maintain 2,000.
2,000, 8 Delta Tango.
Kind of interesting he's having us go over here.
Little spacing move.
Yeah.
November 78 Delta Tango, turn right heading 340.
408 Delta Tango.
There you go, Captain.
Thank you. Oh, this is pretty.
November 78 Delta Tango, the Gulf Stream is 11 o'clock and 3 miles. You're sitting on 1,200.
Looking for traffic.
November 8 Delta Tango, if you can see the Spirit Airport, it'd be about 10 o'clock and 5 miles.
And we got it in sight for 8 Delta Tango.
November 8 Delta Tango, cleared visual approach, runway 26 right, square your base turn off the final.
26 right, and I'll square my base for final 8 Delta Tango.
November 78 Delta Tango, contact Spirit Tower on 124.75, caution wake turbulence.
Over to tower, thanks for help, 8 Delta Tango.
So towers come on.
You're cleared for the visual, so you can keep your.
Yeah.
Spirit Tower, diamond 78 Delta Tango, final runway 26 right.
Diamond 78 Delta Tango, Spirit Tower, runway 26 right, clear to land.
26 right, clear to land for 8 Delta Tango.
All right, we can do our landing check now.
Yep. Okay. So fuel pumps coming on. Landing light coming on. Trim. I'm gonna make sure it's set. Bringing back some power. And right about now, let's swing our gear. Airspeed's fine. All right. Gear confirmed down. Right about here. Getting our landing flaps in.
When you get a wind from the south, that creates a pretty big rotor on that.
Really?
Yeah, on that south
Interesting.
runway.
More nose up. 90 over the numbers, or 95. Right around this highway, I'm going to put up my landing. I'm a little low, it's saying. So
Remember when we talked about you want to have a little more of a glide slope on
Yeah.
this one, then, so you're not having
So I'm not going to bring it back too
a lot of
much.
power on.
Got sun in the face,
Oh, yeah.
nice.
I've still got a little blocking going on over here. So I'm
Right, there's the white red. Gonna keep it on the slope. And coming over the highway, I'll go ahead and put my landing flaps in. I'm in the white arc also. That's good.
And we do our third gear check.
Yep,
and
gear
it's
down, gear
confirmed
down.
How many times have we checked that? 5 or 6? I think I've
Yeah.
checked at least that many times.
I always check it a lot too. Coming in nice and
Yeah, I
high.
like this. This looks great.
Speed got a little too much power. It's okay. My nose coming down. I like that better.
Yeah.
You're right.
Let's use
Coming
bridges
over
up
the
here.
numbers
Taking it.
all the way. Just keeping it.
That's exactly how you do it, Haley.
Thanks.
Beautiful shot.
Hey, thanks.
Very nice.
Flaps coming up.
That felt a little better now.
Yeah. Get a little bit of braking
Delta
side.
Tango, stay park.
We're going to Millionaire for 8 Delta Tango.
One more.
Is this one?
8 Delta
one
Tango,
more.
Roger, taxi Millionaire via
Delta Alpha for 8 Delta Tango.
There we go. I see it now.
Chris, how are
I like having my taxi map.
runway 26 right.
Just based in St. Louis for 14 years, working for Citations. Great airport to work out of.
Oh yeah, so you really know what you're doing out here. If we said Delta,
Yeah, straight ahead. We'll
Yeah,
kind of
straight
follow the Gulf Stream.
yep, that memory of mine. Honestly, on IFR flights, I usually have like a little board to write on.
Yeah.
This way I don't forget anything. All right, well, we're here on the ground here in St. Louis. It was a really nice approach. Got all these good tips and tricks from Dirk landing the 62. And we are going to go have a bathroom break, drink some water, drink some wine, and eat some Italian food.
Exactly. That's why we come to St. Louis, right?
Oh,
And the cheap gas at Millionaire.
yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, good.
And that concludes day 1 of our DA62 checkout flight
Great job, Haley.
and trip.
Nicely done.
Aw. Well, I have a good teacher. It helps.
And I have 2 autopilots.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a long good taxiway. I have to say, it's really not hard to land a DA62.
And why
It's
is
pretty
that? Is
easy.
that the training landing gear that makes it so easy? I'd
It's,
say that.
yeah, I
That's
don't.
the secret to this airplane. It has about a 6-inch or 8-inch travel of that training link gear.
Yeah.
And it really makes us.
It's kind of hard to have a
Look
bad
good.
You have to either have a good crosswind or try extra hard. We're coming in.
This little rainstorm they had here.
I know. We just missed it.
Very nice, thank you.
I gotta send this to Trinity. It's our exact same thing.
This is the
I'm
exact.
not kidding you.
No way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dirk's gonna beat the high score. Oh! Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's out of the park. Oh wait, no, look, you got the KSUS too. Dirk.